Fala galera, bem-vindos a mais um episódio de Sonoridades. O convidado de hoje é Dallas Lindo, Siren Color, vocalista, postou aqui pelo Brasil recentemente, trazendo as novidades Love Still Have Me Near, um disco que fala sobre luto, dor no coração, entre outras coisas mais. A gente vai ter um papo sobre isso na época da vinda dele ao Brasil, entre outros assuntos bem bacanas. E a disco de vinil, streaming, ele tem uma visão bem interessante de streaming que vocês vão gostar. Clica, confira, compartilhe, faça chegar quem tem que chegar. Até mais.
If I could gather up all the hate, light a match, then burn it all away. Then with compassion in my voice, I would sing this song and hope that we might find a better way.
First of all, thanks so much for this interview. This will be not your first time here in Brazil. So what you're expecting for these concerts next week?
I think, if it's anything like the other times I've been there, I'm just expecting a very emotional, passionate exchange of energy between the lovely people of Brazil. I think I'm very grateful to be able to come down there and play. And every time I've gone, it's been amazing, whether it was with Alexis or doing my own stuff. So I'm just very much looking forward to it.
And what can you spoil about the set list? Because I know you have an album released last year, but everybody here is expecting to hear some hits. They're still playing on the radio every day.
Well, I've got a lot of records now, so I sort of understand that I'm going to play. There's going to be songs that I don't play that people are going to be upset about. But my whole thesis behind it now is that I'm going to play, 20 songs. And I hope that if I don't play the song that you wanted to hear, one of the other 20 was enjoyable.
That's cool. That's cool.
So yeah, it'll be, a lot of tunes from my new record, just because it's what I'm feeling right now. But then I try to sprinkle in songs from every other record as well.
And what you can say about Love Still Held Me Near? How were the production?
Yeah, I mean, it was, the songs and the sort of concept of the record was about coming out of a very dark time in my life, so it was mostly about like the healing process of that and trying to find my way forward through a lot of grief and a lot of heartache. And I mean, I've always used music as a tool for that process, so it ended up becoming a really beautiful, cathartic thing in my life that I needed, and the friends that helped me make it needed, and I'm incredibly proud of it. And yeah, I'm excited to come and sing some of those songs in Brazil.
When I grew up, I had big city dreams. I wondered if the Bible was wrong. What the hell were they teaching me? I was lost in thought, and I could not hide it. But the sun, it kept on rising, so I played along. But now that you're gone, and I write down this song, I don't believe this is how it's meant to be. The church bells, they ring, you can hear the mourners sing. They still believe this is how it's meant to be.
And you told about this album as a healing process, but during the pandemic time, your song was kind of a healing process for a lot of people, including here in Brazil. So how do you see the power of your music? Not all the music, but your music.
It's been something that I've tried to learn how to deal with or grow with as I've grown myself in my own life. And I think when I was younger, I wasn't aware of how uh, connected people were going to feel to these songs I was writing, especially songs I was writing about my own feelings. But as I got older and as I've met more people and talked to more strangers about the songs and how they've affected their lives, and I I've started to just sort of understand that I'm I guess a conduit for whatever this thing that's happening in our lives is, and so I use music as a way out of my own problems and out of my own head, and always just wanted people to resonate with that. And so um yeah, again, I'm just very grateful that the things I've created have maybe alleviated some stress or grief or hardships in other people's lives for the few minutes while they're listening to it.
And since we talk about put your heart out in your songs, so is not easy for some people to write a music. Sometimes people want to create a formula. Sometimes people want to create. They think they have to say about a dog, and they have to create about a car. But what is the most difficult part in your writing process? To think about the lyrics or to put together with the song, the melody?
I think it's a bit of both, because just the way I try to approach writing, it's almost like there are these feelings I get inside, and I want to create a piece of music that expresses that mood as a whole. So when I have an idea of what I want to write about, I then have to try to figure out where the music connects to that, because I want the music and the melody to evoke the same feeling that I'm singing about, right? So it's about connecting those two things together and having it come across as a full mood and not just me saying something over a mindless beat or it's a trying to put those two things together and create one concise thought or mood, like I said. And some days and sometimes a song will just appear and it's just up there and you grab it and it comes out easily. And other songs take years and years. So it's not really like a cut and dry type of process, right? It's like
It's like a
it's different every time,
it's a
you know?
craft. It's a craft.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And I'm talking about that about songwriting because you were elected as the songwriter of the year on June Awards.
Mm-hmm. Couple times.
Yeah. And also you have a project about music education in Canada. It's correct?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And how do you see this important part of music education, that songwriting, put your heart out, and we have the AI writing music, composing music. How do you see this?
Well, I mean, that's just for somebody else, like I think I understand why people would flock to technology because it pushes society forward, right? It advances. There's a lot of great advances in our human existence because of technology. But I think there's a lot of people that think that that's the only way forward and that we're supposed to just remove the human element from so much of life. And I'm just not. I mean, I can barely turn my computer on, so I'm obviously on the other side of the fence. But I don't think a computer will ever be able to capture what it feels like to be a human being. And so when I'm writing, I'm trying to capture that. I'm trying to capture my experience living throughout the world and then try to put it to a song again and hope that it relates to somebody else. But as far as the music education goes in our country, growing up in my school, music education was the last thing people thought about. And, our music programs in our school weren't great at all. There was not access to any instruments. And if they were all real shitty instruments. And I think that what gets lost a lot in higher education is that not everybody is good at math, and not everybody can understand geography, or understand like the simplicity of what a school lesson is. Some people and kids are different, you know, and I think that by us working with Music Counts and trying to help raise awareness and money for music education or instruments for underprivileged schools, it's just hopefully allowing a kid like me in high school who doesn't feel connected to anything other than music to have a shot at an opportunity to at least just play one, you know, or explore what they might be interested in, as opposed to being forced to try to be connected to a subject they don't care about, right? Like, I was never good at math. I barely graduated high school, but I don't think it's because I was unintelligent. It's just not what I was interested in, right? So it's like that. It's kind of those things.
Yeah, and it's good because you point a different way of of understanding, of learning, and people are really engaged with your work, no?
Right. Yeah.
And since I talk about your work and engaging, a lot of your songs connect with all the people in a lot of language, a lot of countries. Have you heard the Brazilian versions of your of Syrian color songs?
No. Like, are they singing in Portuguese?
Yeah,
Oh no, I've never heard. That's awesome. I've never heard it.
there's a lot of artists that plays on Brazilian nights and Brazilian clubs that are doing Brazilian versions of Syrian color songs.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'd love to. Maybe I'll look. I'll search around on YouTube for some stuff of that. But yeah, that's great. I mean, I think I've always one of the things I've always been not. I don't want to say confused, because I don't think that's the right word. But the thing that I love about coming to Brazil the most is, I mean, English versus Portuguese is like there's just it's a brick wall, right?
yeah,
And most of the kids I try to speak to at the shows, we can't really communicate that well. But then when I'm up on stage singing, everyone's singing back to me so loudly in English. And I've always wondered what it is about my songs that they're connecting with if they don't necessarily understand the language. But I think that is also great proof of the power of music as this universal language, and evoking a feeling from it, you know? So that's great that people are doing Brazilian covers. I'm in.
yeah. And I don't know if you're aware that, but Syrian color here in Brazil is one of the most streamed artists during the pandemic, as I said, and during a lot of years, because of your power of your song.
I did not know that. That's beautiful.
I come and I feel better than this. Attempting to discover where to begin. Weighing down, you're full of something, of sickness and desertion.
Since we talk about streams, how do you see the digital music? Not the AI, but the digital music, the streamings and everything else, because we have the vinyl, and the vinyl is getting huge every day.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I think the streaming idea is a great idea for people to have easy access to music, you know? I will never uh I will never be negative towards that idea, because, you know, it's amazing to be able to have your phone and listen to any song pretty much that has ever existed, you know? And I think me specifically, when I was younger and started doing this, the internet and file sharing was so important in people hearing about my music that I could never be too derogatory towards what streaming is. But the model of it is broken, and the payment infrastructure is totally messed up, and it's just another version of the major label world that just rips everybody off and tries to make money for all the people at the top. And so I don't know how you would fix that. Like the comments that the guy from Spotify made again last week about how it's just easy to create and everybody should just like, not worry about the payment structure of Spotify, and like, people need to work harder and all that bullshit. It's like, he has no idea what he's talking about, right? Like, that's exactly the idea I was saying about he's got a digital brain. It's like he doesn't even have a heart, so he doesn't even understand what music is and what it takes as a human being to create something that will then connect with somebody else. He's just looking at it like, oh, you can have a computer and make a record, so why is everybody complaining? It's it's cheap to make music now. And it's like, the guy just has no idea what he's talking about. So I'm really happy that people are actually very, very interested in buying records and like want a physical copy of a record again, because I think that's always been hand in hand with what we do when we make records, is you want to have something to show for it, right? But so, yeah, I mean, that was a little bit of a rant about streaming, but again, I think it's a great idea. I love that people can listen to music whenever they want to. I just wish that more people could make a living off of it.
Me too. I think it's my last question. If you have to give an advice to your younger version, what should it be and why? And what do you think your younger version should tell to you, this version of you nowadays?
I would say to my younger self, I would say be more present when you're doing it, because all the worry and strife that you lived with while you were trying your hardest to achieve what you wanted, it'll be okay, and you're gonna miss a lot of it, because sometimes I look back and think, because I was so busy doing this, I forgot to actually be there a lot of the times, and something I'm trying to reconcile with now as I'm older, and now that I'm still getting to do it, I try my hardest to be here more. And so my younger self, if I could tell this person something, I would say, it's going to be okay. Just relax.
Someone say that this would be easy. Did they proclaim this too shall pass? One thing I know, you learn for certain, is that the good times, they never last. But darling, I ain't got the answers, but I sure as hell won't surrender. It's gonna be you and me till the end of time. Though we lost it all without warning, after dark always comes morning. You know we can make it one more night. Did someone say that you deserve better? Do you believe this world owes you more. Sometimes in life you gotta work a little harder before you let